Welcome to the ultimate cheat sheet explainer for Chapter 1 of the ICAI SPOM Entrepreneurship module. If you're preparing for this quiz, you already know that the devil is in the details. The examiners love to test the absolute boundaries of definitions, financial limits, and legal structures. Well, in this explainer, we're going to lock down those critical exam thresholds together so you can walk in with total confidence.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering 1. The entrepreneurial mindset. 2. Startup versus small business. 3. Mastering DPIIT criteria. 4. Decoding government schemes. And finally, 5. Family business succession. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The entrepreneurial mindset. Let's define those core types and thinking processes.
So is every entrepreneur just some risk-taking founder building a company from scratch in their garage? Well, to pass this exam, you've got to know that's a huge trap. Think about the corporate entrepreneur, sometimes called an intrapreneur. These folks innovate from within massive established organizations. They're leveraging corporate resources rather than starting from absolute zero.
You absolutely must know the 4 distinct types. We just talked about the corporate entrepreneur, right? Well, compare that to the innovative entrepreneur, who risk it all on entirely new models. Then you've got the imitative entrepreneur. They play it a bit safer, basically copying validated ideas. And finally, the social entrepreneur, who's out there prioritizing societal crises over pure profit. But here's the catch for your quiz. No matter which type pops up, remember they all require 3 non-negotiable skills: adaptability, networking, and some serious resilience.
Okay, so how do these entrepreneurial minds actually make decisions? Examiners love to see if you know the exact chronological order here. Step 1, identify the problem through market observation. Step 2 is gathering relevant info about demand and competitors. Then, step 3, you generate and evaluate alternative solutions, usually with a cost-benefit analysis. And finally, step 4, implement the chosen solution and monitor the results so you can make iterative improvements. Boom, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, design thinking is kind of a messy, deeply user-centric reality. It revolves entirely around what users say, do, think, and feel, looping through empathy, ideation, prototyping, and testing. It's like a giant puzzle. But pay attention, because here is your classic exam trap, the measurement challenge. See, design thinking requires some heavy upfront research spending, but the returns? Super uncertain. That makes it notoriously difficult to measure using traditional ROI.
Moving right along to Section 2, Startup versus Small Business. Let's spot the exact differences for the exam.
When you're comparing these two, innovation is absolutely your key differentiator. Startups, they focus on highly innovative products, demand rapid expansion, chase VC funding, and, this is crucial, they are strictly under 10 years old. Small businesses, on the other hand, rely on established models, maybe some slower local growth, and standard bank loans. Oh, and watch out for this trick. Self-certification compliance is a specific benefit for recognized startups, not just a blanket trait for all startups.
All right, Section 3, Mastering DPIIT criteria. We are talking crucial thresholds and strict eligibility rules.
Examiners literally obsess over DPIIT boundary precision, and the very first boundary is age. The limit is exactly 10 years from the date of incorporation or registration. Exactly 10 years qualifies. But listen, if a company is 10 years and a single day old, no way. It completely fails the criteria. Precision is absolutely everything here.
Similarly, we've got the turnover threshold. Your turnover simply cannot exceed 100 crore rupees in any financial year since incorporation. Did you catch the emphasis on any year? Even one single breach of this 100 crore limit in just 1 year causes permanent ineligibility for DPIIT recognition. One strike and you're out.
And of course, they love to trick you with entity types. To be eligible, an entity must be registered as one of 3 things: a private limited company, a limited liability partnership, or a registered partnership firm. That's the whole list. So, if you see sole proprietorships or unregistered partnerships sitting there as options, eliminate them immediately. They are strictly excluded.
So, here's the real meat of it. DPIIT recognition requires Interministerial Board, or IMB, certification. It gives you income tax exemption for exactly 3 consecutive years, chosen out of your first 10. But listen carefully, while it throws in tax breaks, fast-track patent exams, and self-certification for some labor laws, it definitively does not guarantee you funding or government contract awards.
Sure, it improves your visibility, but the money isn't just handed to you on a silver platter.
That brings us to Section 4, Decoding Government Schemes, specifically the PMMY and Stand Up India limits.
First up is the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, or PMMY. You've got 3 loan tiers to memorize. Shishu covers up to 50,000 rupees, Kishore is from 50,000 to 5 lakh rupees, and Tarun goes from 5 lakh to 10 lakh. What's really absolutely critical here is that boundary precision again. Exactly 50,001 rupees, that falls into the Kishore category, not Shishu. You've got to commit those exact cutoffs to memory.
Next, we have Stand Up India. Keep this strict boundary in mind. Bank loans here range exactly from 10 lakh to 1 crore rupees. A loan request of 9 lakh or 1.10 crore, that falls entirely outside the coverage of this scheme. Plus, the purpose is heavily restricted. It is exclusively for completely new, greenfield enterprises in manufacturing, services, or trading. You cannot use this to expand an existing business. Oh, and it's specifically targeted to promote entrepreneurship among women, scheduled castes, and scheduled tribes. Finally, let's hit Section 5, Family Business Succession. We're looking at preserving the legacy through governance.
You know, succession isn't just tossing the keys to the next generation and hoping for the best. It demands a rigid framework. Without structured meetings, transparent communication, and a formal family charter, internal disputes are practically guaranteed. To make sure that transfer goes smoothly, the outgoing generation has to step up, provide active mentorship, and execute a gradual, heavily governed transfer power. Which brings us to a crucial conceptual test. What happens when that structured succession plan is totally missing? Well, total chaos. Poor planning triggers brutal internal disputes. But more importantly for your exam, it completely shatters external investor confidence. Investors are smart. They refuse to fund chaos. So as you wrap up your prep, keep these rigid financial limits and governance rules fresh in your mind, but ask yourself this. If even the most brilliant, innovative startups can be destroyed overnight by a lack of basic governance and succession planning, is a great idea truly worth anything without the rigid structure to protect it? Good luck studying, and we'll see you in the next explainer.